Okay, this one says to factor this using the box method. So again, the first thing we need to do is write this in standard form, which is going to be x squared plus negative 5x plus 6 equals 0. So again, I got to tell my a, my b, and my c. My a is 1, my b is negative 5, and my c is 6. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is multiply a times c. 1 times 6 is 6. Okay, and I need to find factors of AC. Okay, so my factors of 6 are 1 times 6, or negative 1 times negative 6, or 2 times 3, or negative 2 times negative 3. And now my job is to choose the pair of factors that will add up to my b value. So out of all these, what adds up to negative 5? Well, 1 and 6 add up to 7. Negative 1 and negative 6 is negative 7. 2 plus 3 is 5. And negative 2 plus negative 3 is negative 5. So here's my factors I'm going to use. Okay? So now, I'm going to use the box method this time. The box method helps quite a bit for organizational stuff here. And here's how the box method works. Okay? Your first term here, the x squared, is going to go in the top left. And you're going to put that right in here. Okay? Your factors, okay, the negative 2 and the negative 3, that you're going to make instead of negative 5x, you're going to put those in here. It does not matter which order they go in. So I'm going to say that negative 5x is the same as negative 2x plus negative 3x. And then my last number, positive 6, goes right here. Okay? So again, if I added all these together, I should get my original trinomial. X squared, negative 2x plus negative 3x is negative 5x, and plus 6. Okay, so now when we do the box method, we're going to put on the outside here the greatest common factor of each row. So up here is going to go the greatest common factor of x squared and negative 3x. Well, the greatest common factor of that is x. Okay? Up here goes the greatest common factor of negative 2x and 6. And that is going to be negative 2. And the reason why I use negative 2 instead of positive 2 is because the number closest where I'm writing here is negative. Okay, if this was positive 2x and this was negative 6, then the answer would have been positive 2. Okay, because I'm going to use the sign closest to where I'm going to write my answer out here. Then over here, okay, we're going to write the greatest common factor of x squared and negative 2x. Well, again, that's a positive x. Since my x squared is closest where I wrote the term, it's positive. And then here, okay, we're going to pull out the greatest common factor of negative 3x and positive 6. Well, since this is negative and it's closest to where I'm going to write it, the answer is going to be negative 3. And now what you're going to end up with out here are your factors. So my two factors are x minus 2, and my other factor is x minus 3. Okay, so there's my two factors. I have now factored that. So again, now my job to solve the equation is to set both of those equal to 0. So I'm going to take x minus 2 equals 0 for one of my solutions, and x minus 3 equals 0 for the other one of my solutions. So I'm going to get x equals 2 and x equals 3. And there's my solutions to that equation. Okay, so if I were to plug in 2 and get 2 squared plus negative 10 plus 6, that should equal out to 0. Or if I plug in 3 and do 3 squared plus negative 15 plus 6, that should also equal 0. Okay? Now let's go ahead to one more example of each. We'll do one more grouping and one more box method. Okay, so we're going to solve this one again using the grouping method. And I'm going to go quicker on this example so you can kind of see how quick this can really go once you get the hang of it. Okay, so first thing we do is write this in standard form, equal to 0. Next thing we're supposed to do is tell what A, B, and C are. Now after a while you'll be able to skip this step because you've been doing this long enough, but I still like to write it down. A is 1, B is negative 2, C is negative 8. Next, you're going to multiply a times c. I want you to show me what a times c is. 1 times negative 8 is negative 8. And then we have to come up with factors of a times c. Well, I can get negative 8 by taking negative 1 times 8, or 1 times negative 8. Or I could also take negative 2 times 4, or negative 4, or positive 2. Oh no, don't want to do that. Or I could take negative 4 times positive 2. I guess we'll just write it like that. Okay? Well, again, my job is to figure out which one of those sets will add up to negative 2. And my answer is going to be the negative 4 times 2 version. So again, I'm going to break this down. I'm going to put x squared. And instead of putting plus negative 2x, I'm going to put plus negative 4x plus 2x. And then add on negative 8. And again, this middle part comes from my factor pair that I chose. That adds up to negative 2. Because this plus this should still equal that. Now I'm going to group them. So I'm going to have x squared plus negative 4x plus 2x plus negative 8. And we're going to pull out the greatest common factor of each set. Well, the greatest common factor of x squared and negative 4x is x. And x times x gives me x squared. And x times negative 4 gives me negative 4x. Plus, pull out the greatest common factor of 2x and negative 8. That is 2. And 2 times x gives me 2x. Plus 2 times negative 4 gives me negative 8. So you'll see here, again, we've got the same binomial in here. That's good. So now my two factors are x plus 2 and x plus negative 4 or x minus 4, same thing. Okay, we can write it either way. And now to solve this quick, I'm going to set both of these equal to 0. So x plus 2 equals 0 and x minus 4 equals 0. So x equals negative 2 and x equals 4. Okay, and we'll write that together as one solution. X equals negative 2 and 4. And we could check that in there and do negative 2 squared, which is 4, plus negative 2 times negative 2, which is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus negative 8 is 0. And then we could check 4 in there as well, and it should also work. Okay, so again, once you got this down, it goes pretty quickly, and I think it's the quickest method of all once you have it figured out how to do it. Alright, let's do one more example of the box method just to re-show that one. That one's Mr. Ayers' personal favorite, because I like to have the box to organize my stuff. Alright, and we'll go on to the last example. Okay, let's go ahead and fly through this one so that we can get this lesson over with. So we got x squared plus 7x plus negative 18 equals 0. Okay, so I got it in standard form. Now I'm going to skip writing a, b, and c down because I think we're getting pretty good at that. So again, next step I need to do is multiply a times c. Well, my a is 1, my c is negative 18, so that's negative 18. Now I need to come up with factors of AC, and at some point we're going to get to a point where we can do this in our head and figure out which two are going to add up to positive 7, but for now we'll list them all. We could have 1 times negative 18, or negative 1 times positive 18. We could have 2 times negative 9, or negative 2 times positive 9. And which ones are going to add up to positive 7? Well, that's going to be 9 plus negative 2 adds up to positive 7. So now we'll set up our box here. Okay, we'll put our x squared up here. And again, we're going to arrange these in either order in the box, doesn't matter. So I'm going to do negative 2x and 9x because those add up to positive 7x. I'm going to throw on negative 18 at the end. Again, we're going to pull out greatest common factors. So up here goes the greatest common factor of positive x squared and 9x. That is x. Up here goes the greatest common factor of negative 2x and negative 18. Well, that's going to be negative 2. On the side here goes the greatest common factor of these two, which is going to be a positive x. And over here goes the greatest common factor of these two. And it's going to be positive 9, since the number closest to where I'm going to write my answer is positive. And there's my two factors, x minus 2. And the second one is x plus 9, because this is a positive 9. And now we take both of those and set them equal to 0. So x minus 2 equals 0. x plus 9 equals 0. And we get x equals 2 and x equals negative 9. And because of Mr. Ayers' OCD-ness, he's going to write these in least to greatest order again. Negative 9 and 2 are your answers to that. Okay? And that's your first lesson on factoring quadratics, okay, and how to solve them. Happy homeworking.